Atacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Hello, everybody. We have a 1-hour show. Early game today, 12:05 start, 11:10 pregame. So 1 hour to cram it all in. Dan Reardon, Oli Marmol, John Mozeliak, Chris Blair, and, of course, all the sports headlines you can handle. What a busy time this is. KMOX and Y98 and our Odyssey family were all over the place. Joey Zanaboni and Dale Schilly were in Cincinnati last night for the 3-1 loss to that team. Very good team, by the way. City playing 3 games in 8 days. The Battlehawks, for those of you driving into downtown, get going at 11 o'clock this morning at the Dome against the DC Defenders. A win, and they are in. KMOX, of course, the home of Cardinal baseball, and the Cardinals with 5 of their last 6 victorious, a 7-2 win over the Red Sox last night. We'll talk to the manager in 8 minutes. But right now, let's go to Louisville, Kentucky. The PGA Championship is underway, the final round, and this afternoon, the leaders will go off. And right now, our leader is Dan Reardon, KMOX Senior Golf Editor. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing fine, Tom, and it's a good morning weather-wise. Bright sunny skies. I'll have warm temperatures here as well. And watching the early players on the course, many of the mud conditions have gone away, and the greens have picked up a little pace to them.
Yeah, it was a scoring course yesterday, was it not? And why was that? Not only are the players good, but good weather and soft conditions, Dan?
Absolutely. And the fact of the matter is this is not, by major standards, an extremely challenging course. You know, through the first 3 rounds, we've had 164 rounds under par. We've had 108 rounds in the 60s. And it's not just weather, because when Rory won here, he won it at 16 under 14 in 2014, and Tiger won at 18 under in 2000. It's just a golf course that's a very accommodating to good scores.
Colin Morikawa, 2-time major champion. He looked fantastic yesterday, and so did everybody. I mean, Xander Schauffele got himself going after a little while. They're both at 15 under, and right behind them, among them, I really like Sahith Theegala. What a player he is, Dan. He is 1 shot out of the lead, and Shane Lowry with a sizzling 62, along with Bryson DeChambeau 2 shots back. Who you got today?
Well, the player who's played the best over the first 3 days is clearly Xander Schauffele. You know, he's played 54 holes, and 52 of them have been at par or better. The only rap against our knock on Schauffele is he has a history of not playing particularly well on Sundays. But honestly, the same applies to Morikawa. He currently ranks 161st on tour on final round performances. So yeah, what makes this tournament usual on a final day of a major is normally you can narrow the field down to 2, 3, 4, 5 groups at most. But because we've seen 262s, because we've seen all this great scoring, the threat can come from anywhere. And so you can look at those top 2 on the leaderboard and say, well, typically in the past, those are the guys who are going to win this championship. And typically they might do that today. But there's just so much danger throughout the field that we know that 62 is possible because it's been done twice and almost had a 61. So how deep do you go? Do you stop at the guys at 10 under? There's 15 players at 10 under or better. Do you stop there to pick a winner? I think the answer to that is no. There's somebody's going to freewheel through this golf course. Right now, Tommy Fleetwood is 4 under through 8 holes, already had an eagle in his round. It's just going to be an extremely volatile day, I think, as compared to most major championships.
Makes it exciting. Since this is in Kentucky, I'll say I'm going to pick a horse. And if I were to pick a horse that might get me some value for my dollar, I might pick Justin Thomas. I think Justin Thomas is playing some great golf right now. He looks fantastic. If he can roll in some putts and play in front of the hometown crowd, who knows? He's among those at 10 under, Dan.
And he's won 2 PGA championships. So, I mean, it's not like he doesn't know how to win at majors. And he's had a great rebound this year from a very bad year last year that ended with a lot of frustration at the Ryder Cup. And clearly he will be the crowd favorite. He'll get roars on every hole all the way through. But he's not been in this cauldron for a while, so we'll see what Justin will do. And, you know, the case of Theegala, I think, is perhaps the most interesting of all these players on the leaderboard because he is so new to this environment and new to so many people. You know, I remember last year on Full Swing, he was a discovery for a lot of people because he was such a new player on tour. And you look at his numbers, nothing is really impressive about his performance this week except this. He's number 2 in putting among the leaders.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really something. Rory McIlroy is 8 under. I guess you can never count him out. And then there's Scotty Scheffler. I'm not expecting him to win at 7 under, but he has been the story of the weekend. Dan, I was there on Thursday. Sorry we missed each other. I popped into the media center. You had popped out. We couldn't connect. I was with some friends from Simmons Bank, and we had a good time out there just for the day. I was in and out, but getting in on Thursday even was a hassle. There was a lot of traffic before the first round. There was an accident that day as well. Tragically, there was an accident on Friday morning, Dan, and then of course the bizarre situation with Scotty Scheffler getting arrested, booked, coming back and shooting a 66 hours later. Where do things stand right now with all of that? Any latest reaction from Valhalla, or is that simmered down?
That's pretty much simmered down, Tom. But I did talk to the bus that struck the person at the tournament is comparable to the bus we ride in every day as one of those shuttles. They're gigantic buses. It's hard to imagine, even at 5 o'clock in the morning, that a spectator or a pedestrian walking across the street would not see that bus coming. Nobody has said this. I've got to wonder if a cell phone was involved, because it's really hard. And those buses, at the distance they were from the golf course, are moving at less than 5-6 miles an hour. So something strange occurred there. And we don't know what the outcome will be as far as Scotty Scheffler is concerned. Although I will point out, yesterday was the worst third round he's had since August of last year. And the first over par round he's had in 2024. And the reality had to come to Scotty at one time. And I think he put a lot of emotional energy into that Friday round and probably paid the price on Saturday. And one Belle Reeve note I'll throw into you. After yesterday, Belle Reeve is all off the hook, because in the history of the PGA Championship, now the third round at Valhalla is the lowest third round in PGA history, previously owned by Belle Reeve in 2018.
Wow. We are going to see Belle Reeve in 26 and 30 with some big events coming, the BMW and the President's Cup, respectively. Right now, Dan Reardon, as always, covering majors. He is at the PGA Championship at Valhalla. We appreciate it very much, Dan. Have a great final round. Thanks for being with us.
Enjoyed it, Tom.
Dan Reardon, our senior golf editor on KMOX, live from the PGA Championship. We are 90 seconds away from going to Busch Stadium. Cardinals manager Oli Marmol will be with us. You're listening to Sports on a Sunday Morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
It's the Memorial Day sale at Miller Furniture and Mattress now through May 28th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Save big now with 5 to 50% off our everyday low sale price on in-stock items.
Plus, save on custom orders of Flex Steel, Smith Brothers, Amish-made furniture, and more. With 12 months, 0% financing, quality has never been more affordable.
Check out our new Amish-made outdoor furniture selection, available at all 4 stores and on display in Fairview Heights.
Come see why we were voted Retailer of the Year by the Home Furnishings Association.
And we're a great place to shop for mattresses, too. Save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic or get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a Chatham & Wells Queen set. They start at just $19.99.
Don't miss the Memorial Day sale at Miller Furniture, now through May 28th.
Visit any of our 4 locations in Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville to save 5 to 50% off our low sale prices. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
What keeps you up at night? If it's a new diagnosis or an aging parent or just being home alone, our St. Louis-based ACM Care can help. Their RNs will listen to you, advocate for you, and get you through this. ACM Care is a nonprofit based right here in St. Louis. They've been helping St. Louisans for over 24 years, and they want to help you too. The first call is free. You can reach them at 314-293-0697 or acmcare.org, or Google them. ACM Care will get you care.
When our truck stops in front of your home, you'll know it's there because you'll feel magic in the air. Things are about to get a whole lot better.
In fact, they're about to be wonderful.
We brought you a whole truckload of magic
and fresh air freedom.
All you have to do is point.
You'll see the magic with your eyes.
When that junk disappears,
And you'll feel the fresh air freedom
throughout your body.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
When that dull junk is gone, all your cool stuff will sparkle.
You'll feel the magic of it on your face.
And it will make you smile.
You'll see big clean rooms.
And it will make you dance.
You'll call your friends.
Because you'll want them to see it and feel it too.
You're going to want to share that fresh air freedom with everyone.
Because you are a delightful person.
When you're ready to unleash the delight,
call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-790-1400. 800-790-1400.
Now the Manager's Chat, presented by Siteman Cancer Center. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
Batting in the ninth, 1 on, 1 out, the pitch. There's a ground ball right back to Leahy. He throws to second out. On to first. Double play. Redbird winner. 1-6-3 on the double play, and this ballgame has come to an end. Light up the night in downtown St. Louis as the Cardinals have won 2 against the Red Sox, and they've won this series. A chance for a sweep tomorrow.
John Rooney with the call on KMOX last night as the Cardinals win again 7-2 over the Red Sox. Tom Ackerman with you. Joining us live at 10:18 is the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol. Good morning, Ollie.
Good morning. How we doing?
Doing great. Last time we talked a week ago, it was doomsday around Cardinal Nation. 7 losses in a row. We had a chat. You held yourself accountable right after you. John Mozeliak, who's going to join us here at 10:30, held himself accountable. And the Cardinals went on to win 5 of 6. You're 5-1 here in the last week. It has been quite the run.
It has. Guys are playing good baseball, man. Yesterday was a really good one, and as you played the soundbite there of Rooney, man, the thing you can notice is the background. The crowd was it was a packed house. They were into it, and it was a fun one. Good baseball all the way around. Some really good defense. By a lot of guys, man. You look at what Mason Wynn did last night. Nato in foul territory, the bare hand on the. I mean, it's just so many nice plays yesterday, and running the bases well, playing good defense, hitting the baseball, and it leads to some wins.
Yeah, and a lot of smiles around that dugout. But to be honest with you, and you said this, the team was still feeling loose and confident before all of this. And I think that's an important thing to note, that you did say that there is a difference between this year and last year. One of the things I noticed early on before this thing got going was Mason Wynn. I loved this moment. Mason Wynn, a curveball comes, he kind of gets out of the way and it ends up right down the middle strike. And they have a shot at you. You're kind of giggling about it. He's laughing. Everybody is just kind of having a lighthearted moment. It showed you that things were still a little loose.
They are, and it's hard to communicate that, especially when you're not stacking up wins. But, man, the guys are feeling better. They're loose. They're playing with confidence, and they're determined to do what we set out to do. And when you're not stacking up wins, that's a tough thing to articulate and just come across. But that's truly the feel of the clubhouse. The guys are confident in their abilities and what they're going to be able to do this year. And it's starting to come together. And it's we still have time. But it's looked really good as of late, man.
Obviously, offense was the big thing that you needed. You had to get it going, and it has. And describe that, if you would, how offense can be contagious, and it actually can work the other way, as it did there for a little while.
It could go both ways. the big boys are feeling a lot better, and it allows the other guys to kind of take a deep breath and just be who they are and not try to do too much. But that's been the biggest difference, man. We're seeing some very competitive at bats without the gaps in between. So you're able to string together quality at bats, and the guys they're playing with confidence, and that's a big thing, and it's starting to come together for sure.
The Cardinals going up against this Red Sox team that has been around 500 this year, and you'll try to take them down. You took down the Angels. You've won back-to-back series now against those two. You've got Matthew Liberatore going today, and I wanted to take us through that decision process of how to land on Liberatore now again.
He's our best option, man. He really is. When you look at the other options, he gives us the best chance. Do I love Libby in the pen and being able to bridge us to our back end to Kittredge and JoJo and Helsley and have that pivotal sixth inning where the game could turn on you? Absolutely. But we have to make a decision of where he serves us best right now. And every fifth day with Matt being down, he's a guy that could give us the most quality in that starting rotation. So he'll take that start. And he threw 60 pitches, 3 1/3 last time. You can take him to right around 70 or so this time out. And we look forward to seeing him.
How is Matt's doing?
He'll get reassessed tomorrow to see if we can start a throwing progression. So we'll have a lot more info here in about 24 hours.
Gotcha. And then I'm hearing some good things out of Wilson Contreras. So what do you know about his recovery?
Oh man, I'm not sure if he's human. He's recovering extremely well. It's he is set on coming back as soon as possible. We got to let that bone heal and do its thing, and then start the rehab process. But he's feeling really, really good right now.
And in the meantime, Herrera and Pages, and you have Pages going today. Boy, what a luxury to have Pages, who was major league ready and able to receive for you.
Yeah, he's done a nice job behind the plate. He prepares extremely well. The game doesn't speed up on him. He throws a good at bat together, but from a receiving, block, and throwing standpoint, man, he's a really good option back there, and he's held his own, and it's good to have him up here getting this experience. So yes, we've been happy with what we've seen out of Pages.
And then just overall, you mentioned defense right away, which I think is an important thing to note. You have continued to work with Michael Ciani in center field, and he's actually delivered in other areas for you, not just defensively.
He really has.
Could you describe his ascension into this role and what you saw from him from the beginning?
Man, he's a kid that does not scare. You get to talk to him for a couple minutes, and you quickly realize he's a tough kid. Not a whole lot is going to bother him. He's not afraid of the moment. He actually embraces competition and just the tough, which is the type of guys you want. But when you go into the off season and you go into spring training saying defense is important and we got to get back to playing the style of baseball that we're used to playing here for the Cardinals, then you got to make defense important. And Ciani has done it. I mean, this guy is really, really good in center field. I mean, there's certain balls that are hit, he makes it look easy and he gets underneath it and it seems like just a routine play. But the reality is, man, he's just stealing doubles. And he's been phenomenal defensively. He's put together some really good numbers and at bats against right-handed pitching. So yes, he's provided some stability there in center field for us for sure.
You got a good one there at shortstop in Brandon Crawford throughout his career. I mean, that guy has gobbled up ground balls forever. So to have him behind Mason Wynn has to feel pretty good. Where do you see Crawford and his progression this year? Donovan's at second base. So Gorman also getting a day off today.
Yeah. Part of that is just keeping Mason fresh and keeping Crawford sharp. Like you can't continue to sit him for too long and expect him to do anything when you put him in the lineup. He's been extremely good about the role. He understands that Mason's here to play every day, and he fills the gap when needed, and he stays ready. He's a pro. He's been around for a long time and understands how to take care of his body and stay ready. But we got to keep him sharp so he gets to start the day. And if we like what we're seeing out of Gorman with the last 2 homers, that's a quick turnaround. Keeping him healthy and keeping that back healthy is important, and being proactive in that is part of the gig. So he gets a day. He may be able to come off the bench late if needed, but he definitely doesn't get to start the day with Donovan at second.
Gotcha. Thanks for breaking it all down for us. We appreciate it. Good luck today. I know it's a quick turnaround here because you got a game coming up. So thank you for taking this time very much.
You got it, man. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Oli Marmol, Cardinals manager, with us on KMOX. When we come back, we'll be visited by the president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak, is going to join us live at 10:30. It's 10:26. You're listening to Sports on a Sunday morning. We come to you from the Stiefel Sports Studio. This program running until 11 today because we have an 11:10 pregame. If you heard us just talking about that, that is correct. If you have tickets to today's game or if you are heading down to today's game, I would get here ASAP. 12:05 start. And the part of the reason for that is that the Battlehawks are playing at the Dome. So there is going to be a little extra traffic for an 11 a.m. kickoff for the Battlehawks and the Defenders. And then you have, especially if you're used to parking on the north side, that is going to be a bit of an issue for you. So for parking reasons, I would do it as soon as possible. 12:05 start, a little early. Why are they playing so early today? Because the game is on Roku. It's on KMOX, but it's also on Roku. Back in a moment.
Whatever electrical needs you have, repair, service, replacement, call on Reinhold Electric. A live person will answer the phone call and they'll set you up with an electrician. If you need an estimate, absolutely free from Reinhold Electric, you will actually talk to a live estimator. No job is too big or too small for Reinhold Electric. Reinhold Electric, for all your electrical needs in residential, commercial, and industrial, call 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric.
Schedule your free tree inspection from Gamma Tree Experts now. I'm Tim Gamma. Our certified arborist and horticulturist are ready to meet you in preparation of the coming season. Winter is always hard on a lot of trees here in St. Louis. If you have a tree that you're really concerned about, let us come take a look at it for free. I'm Tim Gamma. Give me a call at 725-6159. That's 314-725-6159. Your trees deserve the best care from Gamma Tree Experts.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
With the new year, it's time to make sure you have the best vision for 2024. That means scheduling your annual eye exam with Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We're focusing on head and neck cancer, and joining me is Dr. Sid Perham, surgical oncologist at Siteman.
We're really lucky at Siteman that we have a fantastic multidisciplinary team to kind of work together to give the patient the most comprehensive plan. One of the first head and neck tumor centers in the country.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Nobody wants a surprise in their jelly donut. It's toothpaste? That's because the middle is the most important part. At Graybar, we're at the middle of electrical and datacom jobs across the country, connecting installers, facility managers, and business owners with smart solutions for their most challenging projects, which means stocking and delivering crucial products on time and on budget with no surprises, thanks to our nationwide logistics network. Yep, Graybar does that.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Onderlaw, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. We know how to handle the insurance companies, and we'll make sure you're compensated for physical, emotional, and financial injuries. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onderlaw today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-MILLION. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychic.
Okay, now I'm ready.
Ready? What are you ready for?
To call Jerry Kelly Heating and Air.
I thought you already called him.
You have to be kidding me. Jerry Kelly would already be here if I had called.
Isn't that the idea? We need this fixed.
Yeah, but I wasn't ready. They get here too fast.
Jerry Kelly is fast and good. So when you're good and ready, make sure your home is as comfy as can be. Call
JerryKelly.com. The fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Well, here they go again at Valhalla. Brooks Koepka is 3 under for the day, 7 under for the championship. Tommy Fleetwood 4 under today, 7 under for the championship. They are still 8 shots behind the leaders. Schauffele and Morikawa go off at 2:35 this afternoon. If we have a nice brisk game, it'll be over by the time those two take the tee box. And joining us is the president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak, on KMOX. An earlier game today, so we really appreciate this. We will not keep you too long, but thanks for doing it.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Doing great. Last you and I talked, the Cardinals had dropped 7 straight. Since then, they're 5-1. Our interview got a lot of attention. You held yourself accountable. Oli Marmol did the same. The Cardinals have gotten a lot of attention, and they have taken off. Where do you see this team right now, and what was the biggest factor offensively? How did they do that?
Well, I think the thing you're seeing over the past really week or so is, we are getting some more timely hitting. Now, there's been a couple games where we left a lot of runners on base, but just overall being able to tie a few hits together. The other night you saw us be able to hit a few home runs. That obviously helps. I feel like it's just sort of an overall confidence thing. But when you look at really the corners and when I say Nolan and Goldie, I mean, getting production out of there is just going to help the rest of that group. So, right now we're feeling a little better than we were a week ago, that's for sure. But, I always try to remind people, it's a long season. I know we try to just address everything in the moment and take a snippet in time, but patience is required in this industry, and it's different than other sports because you play every day. You play 162 over 187, and it's a grind. But there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and I understand when things aren't going well. There's a lot of blame that gets thrown around, but ultimately, when you believe in what you've put out there, you've got to trust it and give it a little time.
That's really what you've been setting out to do. Not that you haven't been trying to make a move here and there to get yourself in a better position, but working with what you have internally. And here's Matthew Liberatore starting today to try to close out this thing and get a sweep for you against the Red Sox. I talked to Oli about Libby. He said, look, he's our best option. And that's why he has that decision. And so do you. How do you see Libby in handling this role right now?
Well, I'm a big advocate for Libby, and I think he's a really talented player that is growing in this game. You sometimes have to remind yourself that he is still young, and just trust what you have in him. He's developing, he's growing, but he's got a lot of talent. And when you think about someone who's 24 years old, and he's already got over 2 years in the big leagues, and he's trying to figure out what his best role is. But ultimately, I feel like he has the skills to be successful. And I'll echo Ollie's point. We don't really have another option that we feel would be even comparable with Libby at this point. So until somebody like Steven Matz gets healthy, we're going to have to give him the ball. The nice thing is you're seeing other guys in the bullpen fill in for what Libby was doing. So I think from the backfill standpoint, we've been able to do that in the bullpen, and I think we'd be less likely to be able to do that in the rotation at this moment.
I got it. What is the latest on Matz that in terms of the lefty?
Well, he's recovering from lower back discomfort, and we're going to start trying to push him as we go. In terms of return, it's hard to say, but I think we are starting to feel a little bit better about where he's at.
Bullpen looks good, and now Keenan Middleton is starting to get a little bit closer, isn't he? How is he looking?
So far, so good. Knock on wood. I think the big test is his ability to go back to back, which we should see later in this week. And if he responds well to that, then I think at that point we'll have a decision to make.
You looked at this team and you talked about Liberatore being so young. Sometimes we forget that. It's amazing what Mason Wynn is doing, honestly. I mean, I know that we saw his ability in spring training a year ago and then again this year. But I think it is a major, major uptick for the young man. He's only 22, Mo, and he looks, not only does he show his ability, but he seems very grounded mentally as well.
Well, I think the biggest thing for him, and again, had our season not gone south last year, we probably don't see him last year. But the 2 months he got to spend in the big leagues, I think was huge for his learning curve. We always believed he was uber talented. Now it was just, being able to understand the learning curve it takes to play in this league. I mean, very few players, when they hit the big leagues, never look back. There are a few, don't get me wrong, but most, have some struggles. And for him, he was able to endure those struggles last year, learn from it, and then really hit the ground running this year. But I think he's an exciting player to watch. I mean, obviously what he's doing defensively is just fun. I mean, it's like, must-see TV kind of guy. And then, getting offensive production out of him is great to see. And also seeing how he's taking smarter at-bats and being able to move runners. And those are all just really great positive signs, to your point, for a 22-year-old.
Yeah, really something. Just before we go, I don't want to keep you too long. How's Jordan Walker doing on that note?
I was down in Memphis this past week, so I was definitely encouraged on what we're seeing. I think the best thing for him in his career right now is just to let him keep growing and making adjustments down there and not put the major league pressure on him to expect it here. So, I think right now just let him keep doing his thing. I think he's definitely taking steps forward to get himself back, but I'm not going to rush it.
Appreciate you doing this, a little extra one for us here on this early game. Thanks for being with us today.
All right, Tommy, have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. John Mozeliak, Cardinals president of baseball operations, with us on KMOX. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll get you updated on a couple of other things happening in sports. There's a lot. And then we're going to catch up with Chris Blair, general manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway, to tell us that we are 2 weeks away from the NASCAR Cup. Are there any tickets left for that? We're going to get into that and more with Chris Blair here on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday morning, sponsored by Gray Bar.
Did you know that ignoring your problem windows and doors can cause extensive damage to your home? Issues like leaks, rot, and even mold. Hi, this is Amy Markscores. Renewal by Andersen are experts at finding affordable solutions for your windows and doors. Their parent company, Andersen, has been transforming the window industry for more than 120 years, and their experienced design consultants work with you to help you get the windows and doors you want while maintaining your design preferences and budget. This month, during Renewal by Andersen's massive markdown sale, you'll save $279 on every window and $729 on every patio door, with 0 payments and 0 interest for 18 months. Call by May 31st, 314-720-9200. 314-720-9200. That's 314-720-9200.
Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. And if you have had somebody build a fence or a deck or something for you that was kind of on the cheap, you know what I mean when I say that Chesterfield Fence and Deck is a true value, because they're not going to be your cheapest bid, but they're going to be the best quality project that's going to last for years to come. So you don't have to chase somebody down the next season and say, hey, this is splintering and warping. No, you are going to have an amazing patio, pergola, deck, fence, gate, whatever they install for you, it will be top notch. If you have ideas, please bring it to them, or they do free project design, free in-home estimates, or feel free to stop by Chesterfield Fence and Deck's extensive showroom to really get an idea of all the things that they can do for you. You can also do financing with them. And if you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Find them online at chesterfieldfence.com.
Tune in to the Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts, Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at 11 a.m. or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
It's hard to get through a long, hot St. Louis summer without air conditioning. Is your air conditioning system ready? It's time to call Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling. Have them take a look and make sure it's in tip-top shape. Now, if you need a new system, they are a Lennox dealer, an outstanding, reliable brand for over 100 years, but they service all makes and models. Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling, in business for more than 30 years with a great reputation. Call 314-968-9900 or comfortsolutionsstl.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, when should somebody typically get a hearing evaluation?
You know, Charlie, the simple answer to that would be at age 65. However, there are some contributing factors that might make people more at risk for hearing loss. Some people with a history of noise exposure or a family history of hearing loss, or those suffering from tinnitus. Those people should come in to have their hearing evaluated at age 60. And of course, anyone noticing difficulty hearing or ringing in the ears should come in as soon as they notice these changes.
That's the word from Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center with 3 convenient locations: Florissant, St. Peter's, and Creve Coeur. Schedule an appointment today by calling 636-441-7470 or the Audiology Center STL.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I gotta change the oil in my car.
Right now, get 5 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $34.99.
Get in the zone. And what do I do with my old oil?
We can recycle your used oil for free.
Get in the zone, and I might need some help.
No problem. We have helpful how-tos at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Broadcasting from the underlying Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Will Smith swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back. We are just an hour today, 11:10 pregame. Joe Pott is over at Cardinals Nation. Go over there and say hi to him. He's at the desk right to the right of the bar, not having an adult beverage because he's on the air at 11:10. 12:05 is first pitch here on KMOX as the Cardinals take on the Red Sox. I'm constantly reminding people, Drew, that it is an early start. I just want people to know that. 1:15 is usually what we do on Sundays, 12:05. So get down there, get in there, and go see the Cardinals try to sweep the Red Sox. They haven't swept anyone yet this year, and they have missed out many opportunities on Sundays to do so. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, at the PGA Championship, Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa with 235 tee times, both at 15 under. Dan Reardon was on the show right before Oli Marmol and John Mozeliak. We have had all of them so far today. And he commented, you got to watch out for some of these guys that are a few strokes behind. Thigala is 14 under. Lowry, who shot a 62 yesterday, and DeChambeau and Hovland are all 13 under. Rose and McIntyre 12 under. Burmester is 11 under. Then there's a whole slew of players at 10 under. Hodges, Thomas, Finau, English, and Eckroad, which I think Justin Thomas is the one to watch today. 10 under, playing in his hometown, home state. It's going to be fun. He goes at 135. They're going to be rooting him on like crazy. Jordan Spieth at 8 under. I don't see him making a run necessarily, but he'll have a nice day, I think. He's still going to be shy of the career slam, though. Brooks Koepka is on a tear right now, 3 under for the day. He's at 7 under. Big steep hill to climb. McIlroy will tee off at 12:45. He's 8 under. They're chasing, again, Schauffele and Morikawa at 15 under. The way they're scoring out on the course, you got to think those guys are going to get into the 20s here. in red numbers. Really something. Joining us right now at 10:45 is a gentleman who was over at Valhalla for a brief time in his home state of Kentucky, and that is Chris Blair, the general manager of Worldwide Technology Raceway. How are you, pal?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's the first time I've phoned in all year that I wasn't at a racetrack watching it rain. So it's a pretty good day.
I know. We're going to get you at Indy next week. Are you cool with that? Can we track you down at the Indy 500?
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great one.
That is our tradition, is we pull you into a gasoline alley and hear all the whistles of traffic cops and everything else. Everybody moving people through there. It's certainly a huge spectacle, as we know. And I want to talk about Indy in just a minute, but I want to ask you about NASCAR and kind of how the season is going. As we sit here 2 weeks away, I know that your main focus is to get the Enjoy Illinois 300, but how are you as a fan when it comes to this NASCAR season? What have you been paying most attention to?
Well, the best way to describe it is I'm confused because I don't know who to pick when we're going to the races. It's so competitive.
Yeah.
There's so many different winners. The guys, you'll think somebody's running away with it, and then you end up with a photo finish. It's the most competitive season that I ever remember. And the racing has really been excellent. The new car, especially on those 1.5 mile tracks and bigger than a mile tracks, such as Worldwide Technology Raceway, it's been incredible. And there's a couple of drivers that you think are going to run away with it, and there's a lot of surprises popping up. So, and I think there's a lot of other guys who are knocking on the door who haven't had a win yet this year, that you can see them making some big moves in the next couple of weeks. So anything can happen.
I'm with you. I think that Kyle Larson is, if he's not the greatest driver on the planet, he is in the photo. And I don't think there's any question that what he is accomplishing here, is trying to accomplish, is remarkable, driving in the Indianapolis 500. And he's been preparing for that. And Kevin Harvick stepped in and drove his car during practice. I thought that was cool. I've made no secret that Kevin Harvick is one of my all-time favorite drivers. What a fun story, and what a year this is for Larson.
Well, the thing about Kyle Larson, I've been watching him now for since he was just a kid, and I always wondered what would he look like when he got to the next car. I was always questioning, will he be good enough at the next level? And then you see him get in an Indy car, and he goes out there first time ever in qualifying for an Indy car race. It's the Indy 500. He qualifies sixth yesterday after having an engine expire on him and having to do an engine change. Didn't rattle him one bit, and he goes out there and is the number 6 qualifier. And it's untelling what may happen today as they go for the shootouts to see where he's going to start in the race. So, again, he proved he's probably the greatest of this generation and one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely incredible story.
It is amazing. Penske really ran away with that first day, didn't they, in qualifying?
Oh, man. Yeah, and you've seen that before with Roger. That back in 1988, I think he swept the front row once before. But the Brickyard is what Roger lives for. That's his ultimate goal, and his teams are just so good around that racetrack. And watching them all yesterday, the intensity of them pushing one another in the inter-team challenging that they do is absolutely amazing. And yeah, that was some incredible speeds, just the whole drama that's unfolding there at Indy. And then you've got Larson sneaking in there to get right in the middle of all those veterans. It's going to be an amazing race. Well, today, the qualifying is going to be absolutely amazing for this next round. And then it's, who knows what the race next week is going to be like. It should be incredible.
What's the reaction from the IndyCar community when Kyle Larson comes in and does his thing? Are they respectful? Are they in awe? Are they dismissive at all?
Well, to be honest with you, I think most everyone in the IndyCar community wants Kyle Larson to come over there and race all the time, because he's so good and he brings so much attention. And it settles a lot of the arguments of for them that they can, go ahead and challenge the guy that's being called the best of all time. They're able to go out there and go up against him. He's got the respect. I think anybody that's over there would love to have Kyle in their car, and he's proven it again. So it's one of those things. All the rest of us are hoping there's a way we can find a way to get Kyle Larson in some of our races, because he needs to be doing this more than just the Indy 500.
It's awesome. The last 2 fan fests at Ballpark Village, he has been there signing autographs. I mean, you could just walk up, get in line, and get him to sign something. I mean, how cool is that to have Kyle Larson there? What do you have in store for Fan Fest coming up here on May 31st at Ballpark Village?
Well, the great news and the thing that everybody's asking about, we had the Holler Parade first year, and we didn't do it last year just because of some scheduling issues. But we're doing it again. This time it's going to move. It's going to be a lunchtime Friday activity. So all the NASCAR Cup Series haulers are going to parade through downtown St. Louis, pass by Ballpark Village so the fans can go down there to Ballpark Village and line up on the sidewalks and see all the rigs as they pass through town. We're going to have some race cars on display. A few drivers are going to be making appearances. So it should be a really, really fun afternoon leading into the big race weekend. And as it stands right now, I think Kyle Larson's going to be running dirt that weekend over at Tri-City Speedway. They're having a big dirt race. So if you can see Kyle race numerous times our race weekend because he's an animal when it comes to racing. He's going to race as many times during the week as he possibly can. And that's one of the things everybody loves about him.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. He either eats, he's like Kenny Wallace. He either eats, sleeps, or he's behind the wheel.
And the great thing about Kyle Larson that I'm seeing is he's doing more to bring the entire racing community together than anybody. The only guy I think even closer to that is Tony Stewart now that he's doing some drag racing. But he unites so many fan bases and it gets them all involved with everything that's going on. He's really, really good for racing right now to bring it all back together and get everybody on the same page.
100%. So that's going to be happening, the Fan Fest on May 31st. Now, as someone who's partnered with you here, and I've been a brand ambassador for Worldwide Technology Raceway and its pursuit of NASCAR and now promotion of NASCAR, I do get asked, as this is year 3, and the calls haven't come in yet, but as we start getting right up to race day, people are like, hey, do you know of any tickets? I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's out. They're gone. And it's happened now twice. How are you tracking? And what would you say to people who are waiting until the last minute?
We are tracking very, very well. Saturday is going to be even bigger than it was last year. Sunday is really doing well. There are tickets available, but again, I'm anticipating we are going to hit the sellout. I encourage everyone to get them now, get those tickets, get the best seats, because we're optimistic we're going to have a third straight sellout because everybody is really excited about what's going on. I think what you're going to see too is when a lot of people realize that Kyle Larson is racing in 2 weeks at Worldwide Technology Raceway, they're going to be wanting to get some tickets, especially if he does something incredible over the course of the next few days. And so it's that opportunity to see some of the best drivers in the world, the best series in the world. It's right there at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And get those NASCAR tickets. And, the Bomarito 500 is coming up in August. So if you're an IndyCar fan, you need to get those good seats now while you can.
Yeah, that's a good point, too, is to get that ahead of time. And I get it to some extent. I mean, I understand why people sometimes take it down to the last minute. They want to check weather or they want to see what else is going on. I mean, it's June 1st and 2nd. The odds are very good the weather's going to be spectacular. You're talking about not only that, but you have music. And I think one of the things you hammered home last year was that the ticket actually buys you all of it. So it's all inclusive. You get concerts. You don't have to buy a separate ticket to go see Ludacris on Saturday or anything like that on Sunday. You buy one ticket and it gets you into all that stuff, right, Chris?
Yeah, and we've added even more to this year's show. That's been one of our. We want to try to make this as more of a festival atmosphere as we possibly can. So we've added car shows into the mix on Saturday. Multiple car shows taking place. All the music acts. There's just so many great things that are going on there. Then you have the activities inside the infield with the infield fan experience and the Gateway Garage. There's something to do for everybody. So it really is an incredible show. And the JJK 5K on Thursday night, we're doing it a little bit earlier this year, doing it earlier in the week, doing a 6:30 start on that event. It's going to tie in with some of the kickoff parties that we're doing at the racetrack. So there's plenty of activities, lots to do. And we should encourage everybody to go to www.raceway.com to check out the schedule of everything that we have going on.
Yeah, let me read through it real quick for people. Now, we got a lot of people listening here, Chris, because the Battlehawks play in about 10 minutes is when they'll kick off. So a lot of people are parking their cars or tailgating right now. You folks need to get into the Dome here shortly. The Cardinals play at 12:05 today. So I know we got a lot of people trying to cram in downtown, and it'll be a great crowd at Busch Stadium. Those two combined, let's see, they'll probably have 35 or so at the Dome. They'll have about 35 or so, I would imagine, at Busch Stadium today. That's about how many you can fit 70 inside that entire place, right? With fans and campers and employees and everything else.
That's correct. It's a huge crowd. I mean, it's bringing it all together, and it's all Now we're in a position where we can get people in, get them out. I know traffic was an issue that the previous ownership, that's something Curtis Francois, the owner, is focused on. So we can get you in, we can get you out, and bring those massive crowds together. And it just adds for an incredible experience.
Here's the rundown. So you mentioned the JJ 5K. That's Thursday at 6 o'clock. Friday, Fan Fest, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They'll have a track walk after that, and they'll have the Truck Series practice Friday at 5. Saturday morning, the NASCAR Cup practice. The music starts. The Cup qualifying is in the morning. It's at 9:15 on Saturday morning. That is super cool. There's nothing wrong with cracking open a beer at 9 in the morning. I'll tell you that. Truck Series at noon. Then the music all night. You got Ludacris at 5, Tim Duggar at 6:30. Concerts on the campground as well. Sunday, you open the lots at 6 a.m. Kenny Wallace on stage at 9:30. You've got all kinds of fan zone activities. Brittany Spencer, Adam Wainwright, Big and Rich, Gretchen Wilson, Cowboy Troy, T-Pain, all before the race starts. Riley Green closing it out with a concert, and the green flag at 2:30. Did I get that all right?
You got it right. And, that's the one thing I want to point out for those Cardinal fans. Adam Wainwright, you don't want to miss him in concert. He's going to be introduced by Kenny Wallace. So it's some telling what may happen with that one.
Oh man, a lot more boisterous than my introduction of Adam Wainwright at a recent concert. I'll tell you that. Chris, thanks so much. Really appreciate this. Yeah. Thanks for the info and the enthusiasm about your event. It's 2 weeks from today, and good luck with it. And we'll catch up with you real soon.
I'll talk to you next week.
We're going to talk to him at Indy, as a matter of fact. That's Chris Blair. I'm Tom Ackerman. This has been Sports on a Sunday Morning on KMOX. The Cardinals are next.
What keeps you up at night? If it's a new diagnosis or an aging parent or just being home alone, our St. Louis-based ACM Care can help. Their RNs will listen to you, advocate for you, and get you through this. ACM Care is a nonprofit based right here in St. Louis. They've been helping St. Louisans